Alright. So, we have a enhanced risk of severe weather here today. In the Fort Smith, Tulsa area, Little Rock area, in between Tulsa and Little Rock, have an increased risk of severe weather or a enhanced risk of severe weather here today. As we, let me turn this up real quick. As we have a 10% hatch tornado risk here from Fort Smith all the way to Fayetteville. We do have a camera right here showing us the storms to the south, and we see some anvils going up here. We got lots of, it's a pretty good environment out there. Right now we're watching this storm right over here. You can see that very concerning look right next to Fort Smith here. Nothing on velocity quite yet, but we will be watching that. So, right now we have Corey Gherkin on that storm right over here. You can see him in the bottom left. We also have Jason Cooley, who you can also see here, and his stream has stopped for whatever reason. I don't know what just happened there, but we did just get an update to the severe thunderstorm warning. It is the same level of severity, but I won't be surprised if we get a tornado warning or a tornado possible with this one pretty soon. And if we don't get a tornado threat out of this one, we will definitely be getting a severe wind threat right over here. You can see winds exceeding 50 miles an hour, with the winds to the ground reaching up to 60 miles an hour, according to severe thunderstorm warning. Now, if we take this UI off here momentarily, there we go. We can see a bit clearer, but I would like to reload Jason Cooley's stream. I don't know why it's broken. Let's reload that real quick. There we are. Don't know what happened there. Let's reset this. And okay, here we are. James. Okay, so Brandon Kopic is currently in New Jersey. He is all the way over here. We have a flash flood warning in Lancaster. Let's take a look at that real quick, actually. Alright. So, we have a flash flood warning in Lancaster. That's radar engage indicated. And here is Brandon Kopic right here near White Deer, Pennsylvania. He is heading probably towards these storms, but let's go back to Jason Cooley and Corey Gherkin, who are getting incredible shots right now. Let me pull him up full here.
How you doing?
Okay, I don't think the camera's in focus there, but we're gonna put Corey at the top here. Put Jason Cooley. So I'm reorganizing a little bit here. Oh, we just got a crazy lightning strike on that one. I might get rid of Jason Cooley here, just because his stream is not doing too hot. I have to reload it quite a bit here, unfortunately. Yeah, I think his stream's down. That's a shame. Alright, let's pull this up a little bit bigger then. And we will have these fellas. Alright. That is a crazy view on Corey Gherkin's feed here. Yeah, oh my. I'm gonna check on this storm real quick. We do have a little bit of rotation here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get some kind of tornado possible tag to maybe even a tornado warning on this storm. So if you are in Bullfrog Valley, Simpson Treat, Tag, all in Arkansas. Take shelter as if this is a tornado warning, as we could see one very shortly. Same thing if you're here in Cedarville, Rudy, Alma, Mountainburg, Chester, even Fort Smith and Muldrow. I do think our tornado threat is kicking into full gear right now. And we do need to get ready. Currently looking through something right now. Okay, let's look at Tulsa area. We do have a few cells happening over here. Nothing rotating. That's nothing. Nothing rotating. But we do have a couple showers, a couple thunderstorms. And we still need to be careful of these, as if we look at the 1 hour precip, they are bringing quite a bit of rain here that could cause some flash flooding. Here's about an inch an hour for you there. This is pretty impressive rainfall, so you want to keep an eye on this if you're in the Tulsa area. I mean, compare that to some of these storms. We got some crazy precip rates, and that's why we have these flash flood warnings all across Arkansas right now. So stay careful out there for flash flooding, and not only tornadoes but flash flooding. So here is the storm that Corey Gherkin is on here. This is its updraft base. The brighter, the more purple the color, the better. So you see these light greens over here. That's not very strong updrafts. Let's get to the darker blues, the yellows, the reds, the purples. That's where you know you got a strong updraft that could possibly be doing damage, hail, all that kinds of stuff. So I am watching for, we just got mesoscale discussion here. So if we look at the probabilities here, we're just gonna right here. See peak tornado intensity at 85 to 115 miles an hour. So that's about EF0 to EF2 range. So not the strongest tornadoes. We got some strong tornadoes possible here today. And I just noticed this over here. What is going on? Alright. Widespread contamination. But we do have this right here, which does look very concerning, by Little Rock. We might need to keep a watch on this storm right here, as that is a pretty impressive area of rotation along with the hook. You see it, we have a hook right here, almost completely lining up with that, although I think these are a little bit unmatched. But you do see that we do have that area of rotation that's heading towards Stump Toe, Lost Corner, that area. So if we draw a little bit of a box here, these people should be concerned. If you're in Austin, Stump Toe, welcome. Appleton, Jerusalem, Gobbler's Point, Cleveland, Blick, Sunnyside, Pleasant Hill, Friendship, Damascus, Southside, B Branch, Morganton, Wimple, Austin, again, Formosa, and Gravel Hill, all in Arkansas. So be careful of that and definitely stay weather aware. Corey Gherkin has some crazy winds.
Corey, I want to ask you about your position. You're in Van Buren. We know the Ozarks, very difficult to travel through. What is that kind of influence with the mountains now for your overall tracking?
Well, the environment wasn't cut off. The terrain, the Ozarks, can actually help create that lift to kind of help produce tornadoes out here. And obviously, we're higher elevation, so the mesos, we had a pretty low cloud deck today, so the mesos would just basically plow right over the top of these mountains. So if the environment would have stayed juicy like it was earlier. It would not take much to get tornadoes in this terrain. The only bad thing is a lot of these roads are windy, curvy, and just filled with trees. You just can't see anything.
It makes it so difficult. You can hear that intense rain that's hitting the windshield door. We got a big delay, so we're going to continue tracking out these storms. Thank you for the update, Van Buren.
Scan off. Scan on. Channel 1.
So, we do have lots of rain, lots of thunder, and lots of wind impacting the Roland, Muldrow, Alma area, Arena. This is going to be nearing Fort Smith here. We don't have as much of a concern for a tornado from this storm anymore, but we are watching some of these cells back here to try to produce a tornado. Especially keeping an eye on this storm, which doesn't look very impressive right now. I have a little bit of rotation spinning up right around here. Someone's going this way. Now me. We do have a bit of a concerning look right here where we have someone's pulling this way. And then someone's on the other side pulling this way. I can't see that too well, can you there? But got some winds pulling this side, and you got some winds pulling this side. That makes them nice and spinny. Alright, and this is where you're going to get that tornado right in here. So that's what we're concerned about with that storm. That's heading towards Paramount, Bocashi, Shady Point, Cameron, Poclaw, and that's a bit of a concerning look. We're going to have to keep an eye on that there. But for now, it's not looking like too big of a problem. Now let's look back on some of these storms. We were looking at this one earlier, I believe. And I'm still seeing a bit of a concerning look on this one. Maybe even this one as well. They are in a bit of a radar dead zone, so it's a little hard to tell, but there is definitely rotation there, at least in the upper levels. And it is raising some concerns. Do I think there's anything on the ground? Not at all. But our Little Rock camera is probably, I want to say, facing south, because if it was facing north, maybe it's facing east, but if it was facing north, we would definitely be seeing some of these storms over here. But we're not, so, and we just got a new flash flood warning for 3 hours, radar indicated, be careful. Fort Smith, you are under 2 flash flood warnings right now. Both are radar indicated, stay careful. Tyler Woodall is in the same storm as Corey over here, and so is Jason Cooley. Both streams are very unstable. That's why we're not really going to those streams right now. But we have Brandon Kopic over in Pennsylvania where he is going to be approaching some of these storms over here, giving us a nice view of the mountain range right there. Wow. But his location's inaccurate, so just don't listen to that. But yeah, pretty cool. And if you're in the Maryland, or if you're on the coast, we got some beach hazard statements. In rip current statements. Rip currents can sweep you away very quickly, so definitely be careful of that. Rip currents across basically the entire East Coast. Let's talk about the tropics a little bit too. So right here we have, oh, you can't see that too well, can you there? So here we have Major Hurricane Gabrielle as a Category 4, probably weakened to around a Category 3 at this point. But we're keeping an eye on this as it approaches Europe and Portugal. It is going to be lasting a surprisingly long time to possibly make a tropical storm landfall in Portugal. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. That would be pretty interesting there. But we also have a tropical disturbance AL94 here, which is also raising some warning bells. And then we also have AL93, which you can see right over here, with that pretty impressive convection. But that will be moving up and hopefully out to sea here. I need to recheck the models once again, of course, but will most likely be moving out of the area there. This one, however, does have the chance to impact the United States or go into the Gulf of Mexico. We can look at that here. We can look at this as well. You can see some of these models, most of these models are taking it out to sea. Some of these models are having really close calls or landfalls even to Bermuda. So we need to keep an eye on this. Some of these models are saying it could get up to Category 4 within 5 days, which would be incredibly impressive. But let's go back to our severe weather coverage here in the Fort Smith and Little Rock area. Once again, over here in Tulsa, we have some more rain and storms. Although we might have to watch some little spin-ups happening here near Claremore. So be careful of that. Over in the Fort Smith area, in the Panama area, I would say we have a little bit of a concerning look here with this storm heading towards Panama, Arkansas. This Fort Smith storm is definitely a huge wind maker, and it's a little concerning on the windy side. So if you have any loose lawn items, get them down before they are gone. Now let's look over here, and oh my guacamole. Okay, so we have quite honestly violent rotation. We got some violent rotation in the upper levels, I should say. But we got some violent rotation in the upper levels here. I'm gonna move this. Give me one moment. But we have some violent motion in the upper levels, and it is once again incredibly concerning to me, as this could do the thing, and it could cause a tornado to drop down, especially as we see these couplings get really tight. with these hooks here, I just do wish we had a storm chaser on this or something. I do believe we could see a tornado warning on this storm here soon, but I think we should look at the higher tilts. We are seeing consistent rotation with this. Even as we get into some of the highest tilts we can, there's still clear rotation, and that's just not a good sign. Especially knowing that this rotation is making it to the ground. So we want to stay in that shelter. If we want to stay inside here as for at least 30 minutes, if not more. I would even say to stay underground, as this is definitely our most concerning storm out of all of them right now. Luckily, it's heading towards a relatively rural area and is heading into a better radar coverage zone. But it's not a good look here, so we just want to make sure everything is looking good here. But if we look at our echo tops, this is the top of the storms. We have over 50,000 feet with it's maxing out the scales here. The updraft or the upward motion in the storm, which can help produce that tornado, is maxing out the charts. It's so strong, the scale doesn't even go that high. Okay, this is an incredibly violent upward motion that could cause, especially down here as well, maxing out again. And it's just not a good look here for the people in Panama, Arkansas, as well as these people over near Hector, Arkansas. We have some violent rotation making it to the ground, and we don't have any cameras or anything in this area. But lots of violent rotation here. I wouldn't be surprised if we get that tornado warning for that storm. Maybe even this storm at some point in the future if it matures a little bit more. Corey Gherkin, in the top left of your screen, is currently just north of Fort Smith, giving us some coverage of this crazy windstorm entering right now. Jason Cooley is also there, but is a little bit frozen. Taylor Woodall is also there, but a little frozen. So, definitely not a good look here. But if we go to our composite, we can look a little bit deeper. A little bit broader, I should say, at these storms. We can look anywhere we want, as Brady Kopic is. He is driving in Pennsylvania, chasing some of these rainstorms over here for all the Pennsylvania people. We got a line of storms in Maryland. I do believe we have a marginal risk here. And that would be correct. We do have a marginal risk of severe weather here, primarily for this line of storms that people investigate here. But we got some lightning going on near Pilesville, Fawn Grove, Woodbine in Maryland and Pennsylvania. But it's relatively a mildly windy line of storms here, and other than the flash flooding threat, it shouldn't be too big of a problem up there.
Well, I got a special love for 40.
Dude, there was this pair of semis, and I will not make this up, that were gridlocked for about 9.5 miles. He would just not pass the other guy. And, you know, the other guy in the right lane that was getting passed.
Oh.
Backed off or slowed down to resolve the situation. And they just stayed there for over 9 miles. I couldn't believe it.
That's funny. Well, that was an interesting thing, but that would be Corey Gherkin over near Fort Smith. This storm, which was concerning near Panama, is still, I got a concerning look here. You got these winds, and they are definitely rotating. Once again, we'll do the red for going away, just like that. Do some green for going towards. Do white for where our tornado will be. You got it going this way and even this way, and we would get a tornado right about there. But that was again still heading towards Panama, Arkansas. It does look like a pretty nice small town here, so definitely take shelter. Once again, if you're in Fort Smith, take shelter. We got a big line of storms, big strong line of storms moving through the area right now. And this still by Simpson, Arkansas is still a pretty violent looking rotation here as we possibly wait for a tornado warning right in here. Most likely, I would imagine not that big, but maybe a little tornado warning like that. I could see it, and maybe even one right here. Who knows? But definitely some concerning looks coming from some of these storms over here. And I don't know, it's looking a little iffy. It's looking a little not good. And we're just gonna, if we were to draw a tornado warning polygon, realistically, it would probably be something like this. This one would probably be something like this, right? So let's keep those there. Is my personal guide, and same thing with this one. So, really, we want to keep watch on this one right here. This one is looking not good at all. It's looking like a bad one. I don't like that there's not even a tornado possible tag on it. Because I can assure you there's one possible. But I digress. This one over here looks like it might be getting its act together. We got a little bit of tidal rotation. No signs of debris or anything in the air as of yet. But this one is also getting its act together. So we are seeing things once again ramping up. And it's getting pretty interesting here, so yeah, it's pretty crazy what we have going on at this time. So, at this point, we're gonna look back at Tulsa, where we have reports of a gradually strengthening storm that could be a little bit of a hailmaker, perhaps. But radar's not too good for range to see the tops of these storms, but it's looking like a little bit like around 40,000 feet from me. Yep, so looks about right. And these updrafts aren't the strongest of all time, but they are pretty strong. So we want to keep an eye on these Tulsa storms. Alright. Oh my gosh, you can see the hook on the updraft. That's insane, honestly. And oh my gosh. Dude. That's clear air. That's not debris, that's clear air, but dude. This one as well. I don't know. I think we need some tornado warnings to the east over here. Let's take a quick look at our outlook, which they are in the enhanced risk. They just aren't quite in that 10% hatched risk. We aren't seeing a lot of activity over here, actually. We could see a little bit more activity as these cells near Tulsa move into that environment. But, around Fayetteville and Springdale, you're doing pretty well, to be fair. Joe got a little bit of rain shower moving through here, but not too big of a deal. Getting at the Panama storm, we're looking at some mild rotation. I don't think it's too big of a concern anymore, but we will still have to keep an eye on it. Man, I do not like these Arkansas radar dead zones, dude. We got storms all the way in Texas right now. This is a very large system. We got storms all the way in San Angelo, all the way up to Evansville, Effingham, Springfield. Like, this is a gigantic system. And really the main story is over here. Especially right here where we have the chance of a tornado warning being issued due to this, I would say, I don't know. I would probably say a tornado warning for where you see this orange poorly drawn polygon. So, yeah, it's a little concerning here. So, at this point, we might want to watch some of these storms over here, along with this storm, and yeah. Still pretty strong winds. Still pretty strong winds over in this area where we have a line of storms moving through Fort Smith right now. Tyler Woodall is also here in Fort Smith with you guys. He's right at the storm. And we will move on from him. But right now we are seeing a large increase in severe thunderstorm warnings, not a huge increase in tornado warnings, although I do think at some point we could see one over here. We're doing a new joining. I think we could see a couple tornado warnings over in this area where we have pretty strong rotation moving through. If I'm being honest, I'm kind of shocked we haven't seen one yet. So we will have to wait and see. But again, we could see a tornado warning for this area all across here. And even I would reckon just keep an eye if you are in this area right here that I'm drawing out. If you're in this orange area, which I'll shade it in a little bit. You should probably be a little. You should definitely be weather aware here. We have the large and high-end possibility of a tornado warning being issued here following minutes, as we have rotation up here and even rotation right in here, closer to where you'd actually see that hook. So we're going to look at the higher elevations, the higher tilts. Got the rotation right here. Draw a little circle. Still seeing that rotation a little bit there. No, I would say as you get a little bit higher up, you do kind of lose that. But we are losing resolution at the same time. You can see it's kind of moving a little bit. It's a bit outdated compared to the newer scans. So, once again, if you are in this area, I'll draw it red because I want to be helpful. I would say if you are in all the way from Russellville and Danville all the way to Perryville, Weber Springs, all that area. In fact, they just released a mesoscale discussion. You guys should remain very weather aware. Looks about the same probabilities as before, but let's read the summary here. Strong to severe thunderstorm development, posing a risk for severe hail and wind may continue through 7 to 8 p.m. Central. So that is about an hour or two from now. Across parts of the west central Arkansas into southeastern Oklahoma. A tornado or two appears possible, mainly near and east of the Fort Smith vicinity. So they'll be talking about all these storms up in here. Right? So we got definitely some activity happening. I really think this could be the one that does the thing. I mean, look, that is an incredibly concerning image. Especially down here too, we got another concerning image. I do wish we had some high res, more high res resolution storm relative velocity products here. This is all we got right now. But even there, you can see that rotation near Tag and Broomfield. It's not good. No. So I could definitely see a tornado warning be issued here soon. Very soon. Over here as well, you got, it's not looking good. I mean, it's very, very windy. Got some violent winds even going around, and this Panama storm is still a little bit concerning. You know, we got our radar here. This could definitely be a couplet. It would line up. It would make sense, right? So again, I would say, and we gotta watch for spin ups as well. So I would say anywhere in this area should also be weather aware. And especially if you're in ahead of this Panama storm. And same thing over here, especially if you are ahead of this storm near Hector, you should be extra weather aware. Alright, so I know that was like silent drawing, but we do have that do have those significant areas of interest that we do have marked out here. And yeah, so I'm just kind of looking for looking here at the I'm looking at the Twitter because we're looking to see if there is any weather things. Anyway, so you do definitely want to stay weather aware if you're in any of these red zones, really. These red zones is where you need to watch out. Because that's where we have the most concerning looking storms right now. Once again, the storm by Hector has some strong rotation associated with it. So does this one by Gravel Hill. It's a very concerning look. And we definitely need, once again, keep an eye on it. Okay. Corey Cookin is racing ahead of this Panama storm. He sees the same thing I'm seeing. He's seeing some... Okay, that scared me. I thought it was clear air, but I will say we got a little bit of a hook over here. And inside that hook, well, it just updated, so not anymore. But yeah. Definitely, once again, a concerning look from this storm near, actually on top of Panama, Arkansas. So, I would like to see the environment in this area. You know what? You know what we can do? Welcome to the models here. So this would be what is it now? 7 p.m. Eastern. So go right here. No, right here. Right, okay. That's not gonna work, is it now? Go right here. This is right about now. Okay, this is right about now. Okay, so this is right now. Right, we could. I see this storm. This is Fort Smith area, and if we take a little bit of a sounding here, we do see that tornadic environment. About 3,000 Cape here. You can see that right in this little skinny thing. In between this white dotted line and the red line. Right in that area is where you would get your Cape measuring, or the energy for these storms. Our SRH, or shear, would be over here in that photograph. You see these light blue lines in between the light blue lines and these pink and red lines. That's where you get your shear data. And we're looking at 31 knots to 200 and 31 knots of shear, or 227 meters squared per second squared of SRH. So it's taken right here, but where our storms are, they're a little bit over here. Let's take a sounding there, and it's looking a bit less favorable. Still a bit favorable for tornadoes, but a bit less favorable. In fact, it's probably closer to right around here, where we once again not very favorable for tornadoes. Cape is only, it's just still a lot, but it's only about 1,500 here. About 1,500. And shear has been lowered to about 20 knots. So, are tornadoes possible there? Yes. Are they likely there? No. So that's why I'm going to head back over, and we are going to get rid of that, and we're going to be focusing, cracking down on these storms by Fort Smith. These storms, we don't care about them no more. Those are outflow dominant. Those are not tornadic. This area is where we need to be watching quite a bit here. Could also be watching a little bit down here, but not too much. This is more of a, I don't know, maybe a spin up happens kind of area. So we don't really care about that area too much. And what we're really going to be cracking down on is right where I shade this purple area. I'm gonna reshade that real quick. Right here near Panama. Now we have Corey Gherkin on that storm right now. We also have Chasing Cooley, which stream is not doing too hot, and that's okay. But we are seeing some rotation here. We're seeing some rotation with the storm. We're seeing a little bit of a hook. It's kind of taken over by the other storms, but seeing a little bit of a hook, and that is raising concern. So we are very much saying be careful in this area. Over here, we're going to be kind of like a spin-ups are a bit more likely in this area. So keep a watch with any of these red areas. We're down here, we're not too concerned with you. But it's these areas near Panama, Fort Smith, and that area that we are extra concerned with here. Got a news for thunderstorm warning for 1 hour for 1-inch hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. Corey Gerken is currently sitting in Hackett waiting for the storm to come to him. Anyway, we can look back at the tropics here, where we have some concerning looks. But let's go to the GFS run. Can look around. And let me actually, let's go to the screen. We're going to get rid of this. Alright, so this is expected. This would be our orange area. This would be what we're concerned with for the orange right here. For a little bit, it's definitely spinning. Same with this one, right? Get a little bit closer. It kind of looks like they merge. Look at that. Look right in this area. Right in this area. Right here. Right? Like they kind of merge. Just like that. And I feel like it's a little nudge north where this could make some impacts to New England there. Go out to sea. Then something could come out of Cuba over here and do something like that, but that's pretty far out and we have no clue. But if we look at, for example, maybe an earlier run, like 12Z, this is a little bit earlier in the day. This was taken about 6 hours ago. Probably closer to 8 hours ago, I'd say. But so as we wait for this to load here, this is from earlier in the day. They kind of merged. This one didn't even do anything really, but keep an eye on the tropics still, as these models change a lot. For example, we had like a Category 2 hurricane come riding up here. Going up the East Coast. That was like only a couple days ago. Now we're seeing something completely different. You see, these models change very quickly. But you can't really rely on them. And that's why we look at them, we forecast it, but not too sure what's actually going to happen here. So let's go back. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let's go back to here, where we are right over here. No. Stop. I know I don't have plus. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay. I get it. But here we are. Rotation amping up here near Shady Point. Rotation amping up near Shady Point. Once again, you can see some spin-ups over here near Cecil, Meg, all the way down to Charleston, all that area. A little concerned with that, but it does look like maybe rotation, but upon closer look, it's not really in quote-unquote hook. In fact, these are, I believe, outflow dominant. We don't have to worry about these, I don't think. So we're just gonna, I don't think we're gonna worry about it. I don't think we're gonna worry about it. But we haven't checked on the Tulsa area in a while, and it looks like all the other storms have died off, except for one dominant storm, interestingly. Yeah, the storm has been pretty dominant this entire stream. And this looks like it's staying that way here. Okie dokie. But we're gonna wait a little bit longer. And looks like things are kind of slowing down a little bit again. So we're gonna wipe that. We're gonna kind of just focus it on this area, right? You kind of check it on this area once in a while. We're not focusing on that. Same thing down here. Down here, we're looking more at like a not so big of a threat. Same thing over here. We're not looking as big of a threat, so we're not going to be looking too deeply over here. We haven't looked at Springfield this entire time, and here we have a storm chaser Joshua up here. Got some awesome looking storms up there, but once again, not a huge concern. So we'll be painting it in the yellow dotted. With this area, we'll be doing a yellow dotted as well. Look here. Jason Cooley is on the storm. His stream's it's buffery. So we're gonna kind of ignore that a little bit here. But really, it's dying down. It's very calmed down. But I'm gonna check back over here. It looks very impressive at first glance, but like it's an outflow dominant storm there. You can tell 'cause it's kind of bowing. And it's like the little supercell attached to it, but it's not tornadic. I can confirm it's not tornadic. You can see that there. According to some reports, we might have had a tornado near Eldon, Oklahoma earlier. This is from 5 p.m. Right, well, I've had a brief tornado. Right out to tell, you can see it right in here. But yeah, now you can see why cloud base is so high. Yup. This is old, I think. Oh no, it's not. Totally. Yeah, there's totally tornadoes. But anyway. Boop, boop. And so, I don't know why. Corey, come back. Anyway. We're probably gonna end stream here. That's probably that there. So I'm probably gonna end stream. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see all of you. The next one probably. But yeah, we're gonna end stream. Do you hope you guys enjoy? I'll see you guys in the next one. Once again, I hope you guys enjoy. I'll see everyone when I see you. With that being said, here's a view of all the weather going on in the general area. And that will be a stream there, probably. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, I'll see you guys next time. And see you. once again, thank you for watching. Goodbye.